Alright, it's your boy Akeen and welcome to today's blog. Here to give you two blogs today, continuing all my top 5 prospects for each position of the 2013 NFL Draft. For my first blog today, need to talk about my top 5 cornerbacks. Need to talk about the secondary today for my blogs. For this one, need to talk about my top 5 corners. Have a decent group for you guys. Starting at number 5, from a lower, smaller school from southeastern Louisiana, Robert Alford. He has a lot of playmaking ability. I think he's a good cornerback, a decent cover corner. He possesses the adequate weight and height at this position at 5'10", 188 pounds, decent size. But he pulled off a great workout, among one of the best workouts at the cornerback position. 17 reps at 225 pounds. He runs a 4.39 40. He has a 40-inch vertical. That means this kid has hops and he can compete against the taller receivers of the National Football League. And he had a 132-inch broad jump. He has jumping skills, leaping ability. He could definitely stay with these taller receivers in the National Football League. He does pretty well in the line of scrimmage, in press coverage, and downfield. He definitely has good awareness in getting to the football, especially in the zone defense. He's a good zone defender. I think he could work well in zone defenses in the National Football League for any team. But one thing he is terrible at, he definitely needs some work in run support. He is not a good run support cornerback. He is definitely a good cover corner. Nice fluid hips, but he does not have the ability to tackle defenders and stop the run. He really needs to show more consistency in giving run support. He definitely gets pushed backwards sometimes against larger receivers. That could be an issue. Also, he played in a lower division, and I think he should play a lot better in run support in a lower division. That's why I had to put him at number 5, but he is a great cover corner. He sometimes can get over aggressive as well, trying to shed the blocks, which allows running backs and even receivers to get outside of him, and that cannot happen. He needs to perform a lot better in the run defense. But other than that, he is still a great cover corner, and that's why I had to put him at number 5. At number 4, I'm going to go with John Banks out of Mississippi State. Now, before I kept mentioning his name as Jonathan Banks, no, his name is John Banks. Jonathan Banks. Sorry about that, Jonathan Banks, not Jonathan Banks. From Mississippi State, All-American, Jim Thorpe Award winner, given to the nation's best defensive back. He has excellent height. He's very physical against wideouts. He had a great year this year. Obviously, he's an All-American, and he works his hands well in pass coverage. He can definitely give you some pass breakups on the defensive side. Now, he had a bad workout at the National Football League Scouting Combine. He ran a 4.61 40 and posted only 10 reps at 225 and a 34-inch vertical leap. 34 inches is not bad, but I wish he was a lot better in his workout. That's why I had to put him at number 4. He actually had a chance to be the number 1 cornerback coming into this year's draft had he had a better workout. But there's a couple players who had better workouts better than him. Also, he's very slim on his body. He's nice and tall. He's actually 6 foot, but he weighs 185 pounds. There's a huge difference between a player who is 6 foot, 185, and 5'10", 188, and Robert Alford. He's smaller but thicker compared to taller and slimmer. That's a concern for me. He might actually get hurt, and sometimes he stands too tall in position. He needs to lower his knees a little bit and get to pad level. But I still think he's a great athlete. Definitely will be picked at least by the 3rd round in this year's NFL draft. At number 3, I'm going to go with Washington's Desmond Trufant. Now, I know the last name sounds familiar. He is the brother of Pro Bowler Marcus Trufant, and I think he had a great career at Washington as a Husky. I think he's a good cover corner, just like his brother. He would definitely be able to make a team in the National Football League. Also, he has another brother named Isaiah, who now plays for the New York Jets. He was actually the UFL's Defensive Player of the Year, and he ended up working his way, making it back into the NFL. Now, going back to Desmond Trufant, he's very good in short area coverage, especially because he has quick feet. He was an All Pac-12 performer, first team, and he mirrors receivers pretty well in slant routes and staying with them as a cover corner. And he regularly rips off on quick outs, run outs, on quick outs from wide outs, and he also can help support the run, unlike Robert Alford of southeastern Louisiana. Now, he had only 6 interceptions in his career, so he's not big ball making, play making ability, causing turnovers, but he's still a good cover corner. Sometimes he also has some mental lapses in coverage, miscommunication, misunderstanding what his job is in different coverages, and he also has poor technique in press coverages, in which he can give up some big plays. That's a big concern for me. That's why I had to put him at number 3. Some people had him at number 2, but I had to put him at number 3 because he can sometimes give up those big plays. Now, at number 2, I'm going to go with Xavier Rhodes out of Florida State University, a Seminole. He's a big frame, big athlete, 5'10", 210-pound cornerback. He is the ideal size at this position. I think he's a great player overall, very physical. He can actually even lay out some big hits. He is a great playmaker. I like this kid a lot. Now, he's a little bit inconsistent with the run support, and also he sometimes puts his hand at his waist at the snap of the football, where he needs to put his hands more up in order to give a quicker punch against his opponent receiver. I think he just needs to work on that a little bit, and also he's not too versatile of a cornerback, particularly in nickel coverage. He doesn't have much experience as a slot corner, as a nickelback in the nickel defense. That's a little bit of concern for me. I think he needs to be a little bit more versatile, and I think he could be a good dominant receiver in the National Football League. I have him going in the top 50 picks of this year's NFL draft. And last and certainly not least, my number 1 cornerback, Dee Milliner out of Alabama. He has the size, 210 pounds. At 5'11", he has the size, he has the speed, he has the athleticism. He actually put his name out there in the first game of last season against Michigan, posting up a couple of turnovers. He was the defensive player of the game in that matchup, and he has a dominant presence on the field, good leader on the field, smartness. He has the quickness to be to keep up with receivers, especially in slant routes. I think he's a great player, but one thing he needs to work on is that sometimes he ends up leaving his feet and lunges and tacklers. Now, there's some of these stop running backs and receivers in the National Football League. They will have the ability to run through that. He just needs to work on that a little bit. And also his footwork technique. He does have the quickness, but his technique is not up to par due to playing at Alabama. Alabama cornerbacks under Coach Nick Saban do not do many backpedaling drills and other footwork techniques, and that's why there's a little bit of concern for me. But I think he will be just fine. He'll be able to keep up with just about anybody. I have him going in the top 15 picks of this year's NFL draft. Now, I have a couple of honorable mentions for you guys. From Oregon State, Jordan Poyer. He's a good playmaking cornerback, as well as David Emerson of NC State. He actually led the nation a couple of seasons ago in interceptions. He has some playmaking ability. Now, my sleeper at this position, I'm going to go with Jonathan Banks' teammate, and Darius Slay out of Mississippi State. He is slim, just like Banks, but I think he's a good cover corner, and he ran a 4.38 40 at the combine. He has great speed. He will be able to stick with these receivers and also swat some balls away in pass breakups. I think he could be a good sleeper at the cornerback position. Now, I'm going to catch you guys a little bit later today to give you my top 5 safeties. Thank you for watching this vlog. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.